The long-awaited Fun Astrology 101 course launches Sunday, 8/8 at 9:51 a.m. Eastern Time. Go to funastrology.com for more. Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast and our new Saturday edition. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk medical astrology with Stephanie Vickers again today, talking about Gemini, the third sign in zodiacal order, as we follow the moon around the signs, talking about our health. And this also applies, obviously, to Gemini rising as well as Gemini moon signs. And I think you could throw some Gemini sun in there as well. And my little ears are going to be up because I am a Gemini rising. So, Stephanie, welcome back. Let's talk Gemini.
Yes, thank you so much, Thomas. Very happy to be back. So this is going to really help a lot of the Geminis out there, whether it's your sun or your rising, as well as the moon sign.
All right. What do you have for us?
Yeah, so these individuals, they have a vital force that distributes itself in a manner like a changeable breeze. They are immutable air signs, so that's pretty fitting. Their nervous system can be incredibly overactive. These individuals are highly alert, talkative, high-strung, and they're fascinated with many things. They encounter stress when things are too practical, structured, or overly rigid. They thrive doing puzzles, like reading, mental entertainment, any form of communication, and they actually find phone conversations very healing. So I just want to mention that they're very prone to media and phone addiction. Their naturally fast synapses of their nervous systems can get overloaded really easily, especially from constant technology use. So one very crucial piece of self-care is that they take a daily break from EMF, which is electromagnetic field exposure from cell phones or computers, and especially while sleeping, so their brain and body can recharge without that interference. These individuals also really need to watch their diets and eliminate any processed or junk food, and also for irregular sleep patterns. Both of these things can add more burden onto the nervous system, and when they're already so overly active, that's just going to add more stress onto the system. In medical astrology, Gemini governs the peripheral nerves, speech centers, bronchial tubes, upper lungs, shoulders, arms, hands, and capillaries. Extra attention should be paid to these areas and to strengthen them. And since these individuals do govern the respiratory system, they require more support there. Something like a daily breathwork practice will help maintain proper oxygenation and lead to a strengthening of the respiratory system. And also just to help calm down their nervous system. Breath work is something that I think a lot of people, they can go about their day and not realize how much they're holding their breath, and that just adds more stress onto the body. So even something like a 5-minute breath work routine would be excellent for them. These individuals can also be really easily distracted, and they don't really like routine. Creating a daily schedule that has flexibility worked into it is really key for them to creating more consistency. They also get bored very easily doing repetitive things. So creating a wellness routine with an assortment of activities and approaches can appeal to their multifaceted personality. Some other helpful things I want to point out for self-care are ensuring that they eat regularly scheduled meals. This is another sign, like Aries, where they can rush while eating and not have full meals. And that can also add stress to the nervous system and deplete nutrients quicker. Adding some variety to their diet helps them, stave off boredom. Also adding variety to their exercise routines, just trying different things. And also, if these individuals have a tendency to have asthma or lung congestion, just watching the dairy product consumption too. I also want to mention that things for them to unwind and relax are like jigsaw puzzles or crosswords. That gives them a flexible timetable to complete on their own time, and it also exercises their mercurial mind skills. Taking at least 15 to 30 minutes of quiet time daily to disconnect from the stimulation of the outside world and electronics, like I mentioned earlier, can really help them calm down and ground them further in their bodies. With them being an air sign, they're very much in their head. So that's really key to get that mind-body connection going. And then last, some helpful flower essences for Gemini moon natives are Cosmos, just like the cosmos of the universe, to help with mental focus and clarity. And white chestnut, which helps break mental rumination and restless chatter.
You're a Gemini rising. Did you feel like you were writing that for yourself in some kind of way?
Yes, I absolutely did. I felt like it was speaking right to me when I was researching for this sign. And some of these things, I realized I need to take my own advice a little bit more.
You know, if you were trying to understand a Gemini, you're not one, you're trying to understand, or a Gemini rising, Stephanie just painted the picture for you right there, right down the line.
Yes, these individuals are just incredibly intelligent and very fast moving like Aries, but mentally fast moving. And they're very multifaceted. They're very interesting people. You will never be bored around a Gemini.
Okay, now, again, you got me stuck up at the beginning. That they what was your line? That they move like a changeable breeze.
Yes, yes, that's how their energy acts. So their body can change very quickly.
You know, it's fun to take these, and then I'm running them through filters of people that I know who fit these characteristics. Most of the podcast listeners know that I spent almost 3 years in Aspen, and the place where I found a place in there, just incredible deal. It was owned by a lady who had just lost her husband. She was in her mid-80s, but boy, she was a Gemini, and she was just as spry, and still is, and her mind is incredibly sharp. And engaging in conversation. We would sit at the kitchen table there in Aspen for hours, many, many times, just having great conversations. And what I realized is that we could talk about something for just a little while, and then we had to go talk about something else. And if I were to think about, well, wait a minute, I'm not through with topic A. Oh, yeah, we were through until we came back to it. So we'd go over here for a little while, and then we'd come back to topic A. And then we'd go over there for a little while and then come back to topic A. It was so, and once I got the routine down, man, I milked it. We went everywhere. We'd go all over the world. It was something else. So, yes, understanding a Gemini is understanding, as you just said, you have to break the routine.
Yes, and to add flexibility in there, and things that keep them, interested, full of variety, different things. They love to try all different things. So appealing to that side of their nature will help them stick to a routine more than they're used to.
Let's talk for a second about the EMFs, because here again, guilty as charged. Now, I don't even have television, don't watch it, but I'm on the computer or, some electronic device is not far away all day long. Screens, yeah, in my booth there's a big screen. Trading stocks during the day, two big screens. So it's like, what do you do about that? How bad is that?
So there's a lot of studies coming out now about EMFs being similar to the new smoking. Yeah. So we're thankfully getting a lot more information on this, and we have technology now that can actually see with the human eye, where you can see with a camera the waves, the electromagnetic waves, and how far they actually radiate out from like a Wi-Fi router or a cell phone antenna tower. And we now know how that interacts with the cells in the body and the nervous system, and it can put a tremendous amount of stress on it. So I think that especially as we get higher and higher technologies, like we're now, 5G, and I'm hearing about 6G, the body really needs a break from that interference, especially while you're sleeping, which is when your brain does the majority of its repair. And we have such a strong electrical system in our body. Having any kind of interference from like a whole house Wi-Fi router or sleeping in a room with a ton of smart devices can really stress your body out, and you might not get as much of a restorative sleep. I've found that true for myself. I turn off my Wi-Fi router every night before I go to sleep. I make sure my phone is on airplane mode, not just because I'm a Gemini rising and I do have a very overactive nervous system, but it helps me feel more recharged in the morning, and I don't seem to feel like fried as much as I used to at the end of the day working with computers all day.
Great advice. Excellent. Okay, so where I go hiking in North Carolina, not only are there no Wi-Fi routers, you can't even get a cell signal. And there's nothing but trees pumping out pure oxygen. So maybe what I should do is log off and go to the woods.
Yes, that's perfect. Recharging with nature. So nature has its own, our Earth has its own natural EMF field. And our bodies are more designed to align with that field than the field that comes from our electronics and internet and Wi-Fi. So if you can do that daily, that will help your nervous system immensely.
Well, there must be some Taurus in my chart somewhere because I feel the trees a calling. Okay, I got it. Perfect way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Stephanie, thank you so much for filling us in on Geminis.
Thank you so much for having me again, and I look forward to coming back to do Cancer next.